New Orleans Mission Team hopefuls. Dodger here with you just to give you some quick information that you'll need to know as you plan for our summer mission trip. So first things first, if you've looked at the calendar today, you probably realize we're less than 2 months away from our departure date. So the thing is, our dates are set in stone. July 9th through the 16th are going to be the dates that we are either going to be traveling or in New Orleans. So that means that if you haven't already requested off work or got a house sitter, dog sitter, child sitter, whatever you need, make sure that you do that soon because we cannot alter those dates at this point. Second thing I want to mention is about the transportation to and from New Orleans. So right now we are planning to drive through the night on the evening of July 9th and arrive there the very next day, July 10th in the morning. Now, the reason we do this is pretty simple. One, it just saves so much time. We don't hit as much traffic. And the reality of the situation is when you have a group of 25 to 30 people, every time you stop, it's a 45-minute ordeal. Now, I'm not throwing shade at you guys, but you all have some of the smallest bladders I know. And so this is the easiest way for us to make good time and to get there. But that also means that you have all of the day on Sunday to rest, recuperate, nap, eat, do whatever you need to do, because our first thing that will happen won't actually happen until Sunday evening, which will be our orientation. Monday will be our first day of work. So we want to make sure that everybody's good and rested before we start into that first day of work, and we feel like that's still a good way to get that done. So right now, we are looking at potentially taking a couple church vans and a private passenger vehicle to get everybody down there. There is a slight, and I say slight, chance that we may have access to a Greyhound van, and we will be maybe taking that, but the issue is drivers right now. There's legalities about how long they could drive and such, so we're trying to figure that out. So for right now, plan on church van riding all the way to New Orleans. I know it's not a comfortable way to sleep, but you get a little bit of rest on the way down there, and you have plenty of time on Sunday to rest as well. So that being said, let's talk a little bit about money. So some of you all are out there right now watching this video thinking like, yep, I'm all ready. I can't wait to go to New Orleans this summer, but you haven't sent me a dime for a deposit yet. Now, the only reason that that's a problem right now is because, one, you know you're coming, but two, I don't know for sure that you are coming. So if you haven't already, please send us your $50 deposit. You could do that real simply. You could either Venmo it to me, PayPal it to me, or just do the old-fashioned snail mail and drop it in the mail to Reach Out on Campus, P.O. Box 2613, Athens, Ohio 45701. But either way, if you haven't already, please turn in your deposit because we've already sent a deposit in to Crossroads to reserve our spots there for the week. So if you still need a little bit more time to get that deposit in, that's okay. But please reach out to me and let me know that you're coming, because there's a couple of you that have verbally mentioned like, well, I might come, but you haven't confirmed or denied either way. So please let me know, so that way that'll help me with planning and organizing the travel plans, stuff like that. It makes a big difference. So let me know as quickly as you can. Now, another date that I want to give to you is June 15th. Now, June 15th is the day that we have set, and this is a soft date, meaning that there's a little bit of flexibility there, but it's a soft date for you to finish all of your fundraising and have your full $450 raised for the trip. Now, when we say $450, that of course includes a $50 deposit. So if you've already turned in 50 or more, that comes off of the total of $450. And if you've been with us in the past and you think, well, isn't that a little bit more than last year? Well, yes, unfortunately it is, because gas prices have nearly doubled. So we're still trying to keep it as cheap and as affordable as possible, but we just need a little bit extra from you to make sure that we're covering our transportation costs there and back. So here's the thing, if you're looking at your calendar, June 15th is less than a month away at this point. So if you haven't already sent out support letters or talked to your church or done whatever you're planning to do to fundraise for the trip, you probably need to start on that now. Now, again, if there's an issue with that, if you need a little bit extra time, if you're like, hey, Dodger, I need till July 1st, I need whatever date, that's fine, as long as you communicate that to me ahead of time. Unfortunately, what happens is, and the reason we're asking for it ahead of time is this, is that a lot of people wait until the day that we leave to come and turn that amount of money in. And so the problem with that is it's logistically, it's kind of a nightmare for me because everybody's handing me permission forms and throwing money at me. And for me to try to keep track of all that is just overwhelming. And secondly, it means that I have to take hundreds and hundreds of dollars more in cash to New Orleans than I had intended to. And then I have to wait a full week plus to come back and then deposit that into the account for Reach Out on campus. So it just makes my job that much easier. It makes the departure process that much easier if you just commit to turning in all of your funds prior to our departure date. So again, I'm flexible. I'll work with you. Even if there's somebody out there, it's like, look, I may be a little bit after the trip to get you the rest of the money. I will work with you. Just please communicate that to me. It just makes things flow that much more smoothly when you do. So that being said, let's move on and let's talk a little bit about projects. Now, a lot of people always want to know, like, what are you going to be doing? What are we going to be doing while we're down there? And at this point, it's hard to give you specifics because so much of that's going to be determined by what the groups ahead of us get finished prior to us getting there. So we may be coming in and finishing up something that they started, or we may be starting a brand new project. So I'm going to give you guys some generalities today to kind of get you prepared for that, but understand that at this point, it'll probably be about a week to 2 weeks before our trip that I'll be able to talk to you in more specific ways. So if you've never been with us to New Orleans to work with Crossroads, let me just share a little bit. A lot of what they do is centered around construction and home repair / renovation. There was, of course, a tornado that went through the area back in 2021. I believe it was like late fall that the tornado went through. So they're still working on recovering from that. So that means some of what we'll be doing down there might center around cleanup. It might center around repair, renovation, that type of thing. And, you're coming in and if you're thinking, look, I don't have a whole lot of skill set for construction, that's okay because we've got people coming on this trip that would love to take the time to teach you how to do those things. The only thing we want to encourage you to do is just to be flexible and be available to be used by God. So you never know, like when you may actually pick up a new skill and find that you're actually really good at some of these things. You've just never had the practice. You've never had anybody teach you how to do those things. And so that's one of the things I love about these trips is a lot of people come out of there and say, look, I couldn't put a roof on a house before, I can now. I couldn't lay tile before, but I can now. And so, don't let what you can currently do limit you, because what you're able to do with God's help and with some guidance from the rest of the team sometimes can be some pretty amazing things. So go into it with an open mindset. One of the things that we really encourage our team members with is go in with a whatever, whenever mindset. I think one of the most detrimental things that you can do is go down to New Orleans with a chip on your shoulder and thinking like, I've got to come down here and do this or my time is wasted. Because sometimes what needs to be done and what you want to do aren't always the same thing. But if you go down right away with the attitude of like, look, whatever they need me to do, wherever that might be, as humble and humiliating as it might be, I'm going to do that thing, then you're going to be blessed and you're going to see God do some incredible things through your work while you're down there. The other thing is this: if you go down with that mentality of whatever, whenever, you end up being a blessing to the ministries that you're serving as well, because they're blown away that you're willing to come down. If it just means throwing a little bit of paint on a wall or sweeping up a sidewalk, something that somebody else would have had to do, and you're willing to come down and do that, it demonstrates something about your love and your care and commitment to that field. So again, go down with the attitude that you're willing to do whatever, whether that's construction related, whether that's like doing something you've never done before. So one of the things that we do is we partner with New Orleans Rescue Mission, and you'll definitely have the opportunity throughout the week to go out with the mission to serve some of the people who are experiencing homelessness, and you'll likely be providing them with some food and praying with them. And from everybody who's ever gone down, I've always heard the same thing. It's one of the most difficult things that we do emotionally, and it's nerve-wracking. It's a little bit of anxiety if you've never done it before, but it's also everybody's highlight at the end of the week. Like, I can't believe we got to do that. I can't believe I got to pray with someone. It was really difficult. It was really hard. I was nervous, but that's where I really saw God that week. So, again, that whatever, whenever attitude goes a long way. If you are just the type of person like, hey, look, I don't know that I could do hard manual labor, physical construction type stuff, there will be an opportunity for some of our group to go over and serve at a local kids camp. This is something that Crossroads has been partnering with for years, and that a lot of our people, a lot of our groups have partnered with them too. And they're always looking for extra hands, extra eyes, and just people that are willing to come and love on some students. And these are like pretty young guys, I think 6th grade and younger. And so they always need extra help with that. So there'll be a chance if you want to do kids camp for something different. You can do that. And some of you may have a chance to do both. You may spend a day or two at kids camp. You may spend a day or two at the construction sites. It just depends. Again, that's why we're just asking you to be flexible. We're going down to serve others, not ourselves. So we want to be really, really clear that we're going down with the right attitude and the proper heart. So that being said, one more thing I'll mention about attitude is this. It's going to be July. It is going to be the hottest, muggiest thing you've ever experienced. If you've never been down with us in July before, you're going to experience a whole new level of humidity. You think Ohio is humid in the summers? It doesn't hold a candle to New Orleans. So that being said, there are going to be times it's going to be really hot outside. You're going to be dehydrated. You might have a headache. You're going to have to apply and then reapply and then reapply sunscreen. And so the tendency there tends to be like, I could complain about this. I could complain about how hot it is. I could complain that my head hurts. I could complain that my feet are swollen. But we want to encourage everybody on the trip to hold each other in check, and that includes me, to keep a good attitude, because I know even though we've got like a pretty decent sized team, it doesn't take many people complaining to really bring down the morale of the whole team. And here's the other thing that we've noticed, if you've never been with us on the field, is this, that when you get back and you share about, oh, it was so hot, we worked so hard, I got sunburnt, I was so tired, but God showed up and blessed me incredibly through this week. You're going to blow some people's minds. People just aren't prepared to hear, like, this is one of the hardest things I've ever done, but I got the biggest blessing from that. So again, and that all starts with our mindset, because it's entirely possible for you to go down there with the wrong mindset, with the wrong heart, and instead of being blessed by that, to miss the blessing. And to me, that'd be the most heartbreaking thing entirely, is that to go down there, spend a week, to see God, potentially miss out on seeing God move through your efforts, and to miss that because your head's just in the wrong space. So we're going to try to hold you in check, hold us as leaders in check as well, and trust me, it'll make for a really, really good week. So last thing I'll mention is this. So as we lead up to the trip, we are going to try to schedule an in-person meeting somewhere. So I'll be looking at probably the end of June as a potential time for meeting, and it might be an evening, it might be a Sunday afternoon after church, something like that. But we would like to try to get as many of you together as possible so that you could start meeting other people from the team, because we've got people coming from different churches, from different places around Ohio and West Virginia. So it'd be kind of cool to kind of get to know who you're going to serve alongside before we actually get down there. So I think that's all I've got for you guys right now. If you have questions, of course, don't hesitate to reach out to me and ask. Sometimes if you're asking or you're wondering a question, other people are too. So don't hesitate to reach out to me and ask that. I think you all have my cell phone, but just in case, 740-591-1692. You could also email me, dodgervaughn@yahoo.com. Or just holler at me here on Facebook, whatever works. But listen, guys, we are really, really excited to serve with you in New Orleans. Oh, one last thing. I almost forgot this. One of the most important things is this. Before we leave, we always want each one of our team members to select a prayer partner. And a prayer partner is somebody who simply just is staying back here, who won't be going on the trip with us, but will commit to pray for you and the rest of the team throughout the week that we are in New Orleans. Super simple to do. Just you'd be surprised how many people that would love to pray with you, that can't physically come with us but want to support us in somehow, and just asking them, hey, look, could you be praying for me? And would you commit to doing this for the week that I'm down there? You'd be surprised by how quickly you're going to get a yes response to that. But that is so vital to the success of the trip. It's so vital to cover this thing in prayer, and I believe that the more people praying for a week like this, the more that we get to see God do some really spectacular things. So that being said, I'm going to wrap this up. Hope you guys are all doing well. Hope you're getting excited for the trip. Be praying for the trip and for each one of us as well as we get ready to go. But I'll be looking forward to seeing you guys real soon. Bye, y'all.